Hey Mixers, welcome into another NFL video. We're going to go over all the sides, totals, and spreads for week 16 in the NFL. We only have a couple more weeks left in the NFL, so that is sad. But hopefully we can make some money out of it. Of course, there is the playoffs, and then we'll just have to switch over just to basketball, where we have been making most of our money. And every year we do make more money in basketball than we do in the NFL. That is very much true this year as well. But let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, guys. So there were a lot of crazy high totals this week, which ruined a lot of my leans here. But I didn't. I got murdered in the spreads and totals. I did okay on the money lines, but got murdered on the spreads and totals here. Did have a couple that we got exactly right, and then a couple that we got exactly wrong. So that's going to happen. We did make some money on the game bets. I will show you that here in a minute. But the super teaser here, we did not do great on. Typically, we're missing like 3 legs on the super teaser. We missed 6, 7 legs, so that was not ideal, obviously. And then the game bets, we did come out slightly ahead. We missed our money line parlay, but and we missed the majority of our bets. But the 3 we did hit, I got all for plus money, and one of them was a full unit play, whereas some of these ones that we missed were just quarter unit plays. So we came up almost a third of a unit, a little bit more than a third of a unit. For week 15. So overall, a slightly positive week on the game bets. Not so on the player props. I missed all 4 best bets that I gave out to you, and that did drop us below 50% on the player props for the season for NFL. Alt lines went 1-1, which was terrible. But we did hit our bonus bet for plus money, Drake May to throw an interception. That one did come through for us. Didn't give you any touchdown calls, and there are no teams on bye. So let's just jump into it. Thursday night football, LA Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks. This game has a lot of implications for playoffs. Also just in general for the division, where Seattle and the 49ers are going to end up in the division standings. So let's take a look at it. It is a close spread, just 1.5, with a kind of a low total, I would think, 44.5. But I am leaning under. There is no plus money on the money line for either team. At least I was not seeing any. But if you can find some, go ahead and take your favorite team. I don't have a good read on who's going to win this one, but I am siding with the Rams. The Rams did win this year already at home by 2, so it was a close game. Seattle definitely could have won that one. In 2024, the away teams won by 5-6. Those were the spreads, 5 and 6. And then in 2025, the Rams swept. That was, in 2023. And that was the year the Rams went to the playoffs as well. Totals in Seattle have been 43 and 46 recently. Spreads have been 17 and 6. So, it's going to be close to this total probably. But the Rams are scoring 32 points away, with the Seahawks only allowing 17. The Seahawks are scoring 28 points at home, almost 30, and the Rams are only allowing 19. So this is a tale of 2 good offenses and 2 good defenses. So which unit is going to win out? Probably just the one that has the fewest injuries. So there's bound to be some injuries in this game, whether it's on offense, whether it's on defense. Obviously, the Rams are coming in a little bit banged up, potentially missing Devontae Adams. I don't know if he's actually officially been ruled out yet, but most likely without him. So we'll just have to see. It's going to be like Puka versus Jackson Smith-Njigba, basically, and maybe one of the defensive units really shows up. I tend to lean with the Rams, like I said earlier. I will take Seattle on the spread 1.5, just because I could see this being like a go for 2 and don't get it sort of a situation. Under 44.5, and then for the super teaser, we'll take Seattle in a teaser, just plus 7.5, and I'll put them in a normal teaser as well. All right, Philly at Washington. Spread is 6.5, which I think is a little bit wild. Considering this is a division matchup and Washington is playing at home. I realize that they're not playing very well this year, but the Eagles definitely have played down to most of their competition this year. The Raiders win kind of being like an exception, but I could have seen the Raiders covering in that game no problem, even though that's not what happened. I did tell you in the video that they could get shut out, and that is what happened. Total 44.5. The money line plus 250, I don't see a lot of value there, but minus 310. That is perfect for a money line parlay. So I'm going to put Philly in a money line parlay. The home teams won in 2024, and in 2023, the Eagles swept. They have not played this year. So they're about to play each other twice in a row. Once at home, obviously, and then once in Philly. So Eagles are scoring 20, almost 21 points away, and the Commanders are allowing 27. Commanders are scoring 25 points at home. I'm rounding up, and the Eagles are allowing about 22. So I think it's going to be closer than people think it's going to be. 24-21, maybe 27-21, maybe like 24-17. But all of those numbers that I just said are within this 6.5 spread. So I'm going to take Philly on the money line, Washington on the spread, and then over 44.5. But I'm not as confident on Washington to take them in like a teaser. I'm a little bit more confident taking the Eagles in a teaser -1.5, or like down to -0.5, or just in a money line parlay. I think the money line parlay is fine. For the super teaser, I'm going to do the Philadelphia team total over 19.5. All right, Green Bay at Chicago. I think this is going to be one of the best games of the week. And that's just because I think it's going to be high scoring, and also it's a division matchup, and also it has a lot of implications for seeding and the division title here. So I just think this is going to be a good game. Spread's 1.5. I think that's justified. 46.5 for the total, minus money for both teams on the money line. This year, the Packers won by 7 at home, and in 2024, the away teams won by less than 3 both times. And then in 2023, the Packers swept easily. So right now, the Packers are scoring 28 away, and the Bears are only allowing 17.7. The Bears are scoring 27.8 at home, and the Packers are allowing 25.6. So to me, this all screams high-scoring game. We took Denver and Green Bay over the total last week, and that cashed easily. I think the same thing is going to happen here. So I am betting the total over 46.5 for this game. Although I wish I could get it at 45.5. I don't see that number moving much. I also think taking Chicago in a teaser plus 7.5 is a good idea. And then I also think that for the super teaser, we're going to go over 37.5 because I just don't see this being a low scoring game. It could be. Green Bay's defense started out strong this season, but that was mostly at home. They haven't played as well. Like you can see, they allow 14.6 at home, but 25.6 away. And kind of the same story with the Bears defense, 17.7 at home, but 29 away. So, these defenses can be thrown on, they can be run on, and both teams are able to put up points. So I like a big high scoring game in this one. Don't know who's going to win, but I do like a teaser for, the Bears to get the hook with a touchdown on the Bears. All right, Buffalo at Cleveland. Spread is 10. Just a fair warning, I like a lot of the underdogs on the spread this week, just because I think that the teams who are trying to win don't really need to lay it on thick, if that makes sense, except in that Green Bay Bears game. But I think that'll be a close fought game. Total is 42.5 in this one. Moneyline 425, minus 575 for the Bills. Minus 575 is a bit juicy, but you could throw them in as a juice reducer into a moneyline parlay if you wanted to. This seems like the kind of game that the Cleveland Browns could just win outright by accident. But I think I would feel safe putting the Bills in a moneyline parlay. Anyway, the home teams have won in 5 head-to-heads going back to 2013, and the Bills could still win their division, though. And this reminds me a lot of when the Bills went to Texas last year and lost, but played that crazy game with Texas last year. Good defense on the road. So Bills are scoring 25 points away. Browns are allowing 18.8. Browns are only scoring 18.8 points at home, and the Bills are allowing about 19. So I think 24-17, maybe 21-17. I think it's going to be close. So I think Cleveland plus 10 on the spread, but I'll take Buffalo on the money line. I think 575 is unjustified. I think it should be lower, like 425. And then I'll take the under 42.5, but I don't feel super confident about that. It's possible the Browns can't get up any points, and it's possible the Bills, go over 30. That's always possible. So I don't have strong feelings towards the total. In the super teaser, I'm going to take Cleveland team total under 21.5 because I do think Cleveland will be able to score. I don't think they get over 20. All right, LA Chargers at the Dallas Cowboys. This one is going to be another good game, I think. I hope so. I hope it's a good one to watch. Spread's 1.5, total's 49.5. Cowboys are obviously coming off a home loss, and now they're playing at home again. Chargers are playing for their division. They could still get it from the Broncos. It's unlikely, but they're playing for playoff, position as well. And their division, they could still win it. So I like that. Chargers are scoring 20 points away, but the Cowboys are allowing 30. The Cowboys are scoring 31 points at home, but the Chargers are only allowing 20. So I think both teams meet in the middle here, and then we see like 27-24, 27-21, 24-21, somewhere in that realm. I think that it gets very close to 50. I think it stays under. I think the Chargers keep it under. Excuse me. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know that I've been sick for the last week and a half, still trying to recover here. So I'll take the Chargers on the money line for the plus money. I will take the Chargers on the spread for plus 1.5. I'll take them in a teaser plus 7.5. And then for the super teaser, I'll take both teams to get to 15 points. And I don't see any way that doesn't hit, but if it doesn't hit, I feel like it's the Cowboys that don't hit. One other note, Quinnen Williams may or may not be healthy for this game because he's in the concussion protocol, and he's the whole reason that Dallas's run game defense got better. So if he's out, Omarion Hampton's going to run all over this Cowboys team. All right, Kansas City at Tennessee. The spread is 3.5, which it started at 5.5. Total 37.5. The home teams have won the last 4 head-to-heads going back to 2019, but I don't think that happens this time. I know it feels like a trap, but I'm going to take Kansas City on the money line, Kansas City on the spread, and the over 37.5. It's hard to go with like what the Chiefs have been doing because obviously that was with Patrick Mahomes, and now they have Gardner Minshew, but they're playing the Titans. So I think Gardner Minshew, who has played this team quite a lot in his career, he's played for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that was in the same division as the Titans. He's played for the Colts. That was in the same division as the Titans. So he has experience against this team, and I think he's going to be able to throw on them. He might even be a little bit more explosive than Patrick Mahomes has been. Not saying he's better than Patrick Mahomes. He's not, but he's a little fresher. So that's all I'm saying. I think both teams are going to be able to score. I think it gets over the total. Maybe it just sneaks over, or maybe it goes way over. But either way, I think it's over the total. For the super teaser, I will take the total down to 29.5 and go over that number. All right, Cincinnati Bengals at the Miami Dolphins. Spread is 2.5. The home teams have the home teams have won the last 6 head-to-heads going back to 2013. Bengals are only scoring 18 points away, but most of that was without Joe Burrow. Dolphins are allowing 23.5 at home. Dolphins are scoring 23 at home, and the Bengals are allowing 29.4, the most in the NFL. The Bengals are allowing the most points in the NFL. So I have to lean with Miami here at home. Miami on the money line, Miami plus 2.5, Miami in a teaser plus 8.5. And the under 50.5, but it could easily go over. Would not surprise me. I just think this could be a freak game where the Dolphins shut down the Bengals. I know they just had a bad loss, but now they're going on the road where they don't play well, and they could have another loss. I think. Super teaser, I'm going to take Cincinnati team total over 17.5, even though that kind of goes against everything I just said. I don't know that. They didn't score any points in the last game. I don't know that can happen again, but I think they can hold Joe Burrow under 20, potentially. So I think this could be a tight one, but that is what I liked the best. I didn't know if it was going to be a high-scoring game, low-scoring game. I wasn't 100% sure on the spreads, so I'm just going to take the team total for the Bengals. I should have probably taken it for the Dolphins, but it was just too high. I would have had to take like 20. I think 21.5, over 21.5 for the same price. And I just didn't like that as much. So New York Jets at New Orleans Saints. The Saints have won the last four out of the last 5 head-to-heads. The Jets win was in New York. This game is not in New York. So the Jets have not won in New York for like 10 plus years. The Jets are scoring 19.7 points, and the Saints are allowing 21. Saints are scoring 16.1 points, and the Jets are allowing 28. So either team should be able to score here. My biggest problem with this game is that both teams kind of want to lose. So I don't know what that means, but when I see games like that, I see a lot less defense being played, and so that leads to an over for me. So I will lean towards the over 40.5, the Jets on the money line, Jets on the spread. And I think that hook is important because I think this could be a 4-point game. All right, super teaser, Jets team total over 12.5. I just think they can get to 2 touchdowns or 1 touchdown and 2 field goals. I think that's very doable for them. Jets at New Orleans plus 10.5 in a teaser. I love that. And I think you could sprinkle on Jets on the money line, but I don't think I ended up doing that. I just, I don't want to be betting on the Jets. Minnesota at the New York Giants. Spread is 3, which I think is completely unjustified. I think the Giants are going to win this one easily, and they're the home underdogs. Vikings have won 5 out of the last 6 head-to-heads. The Giants have not won at home since 2013. So that would not go with those stats, but I just don't know how the Giants lose this game. Vikings are only scoring 18 points in away games. Giants are allowing 24.5. Giants are scoring 21.4 at home, but the Vikings are allowing 25.1 in away games. So I know that this Brian Flores defense is probably going to be tough for a rookie Jackson Dart to figure out, but he is a running quarterback, and so I don't think he's going to have too much problem taking off and running or scrambling. There's obviously going to be some design runs as well. So I think it's going to be close. 21-17 is what I put it at. But I will take the Giants to win at home. Giants plus 3 and the under 43.5, but barely. Well, I don't know about barely, but I think this is more defensive. I think both defenses kind of do some trickery here, and there's some turnovers. That could lead to more scoring, but who knows? Super teaser, I'm going to do Giants on the spread plus 10.5, but I will take them in a normal teaser, 6-point teaser plus 9. I'm also going to take the money on the money line, and I'll take them on the spread plus 3. So I'm going to have quite a few bets on the Giants this week on the side, but those aren't going to be official bets. But I'm probably going to bet them myself. All right, Tampa Bay at Carolina. The Bucs have won the last 5 head-to-heads. I think that comes to an end here. I know that the Bucs have a better team on paper. They have a better team in practice. Baker Mayfield is good on the road, but the stats don't back that up. So the Bucs are only scoring 21 points away, and they're scoring 25 at home. Panthers are scoring 22 at home, and they're allowing 22 as well. So I think it'll be a tight one, 27-24, 24-21, something close to that. So I will definitely take the Panthers on the spread plus 3 because I think it's a field goal game, and I will lean towards them on the money line as well, but I'm not going to bet it. And then in the super teaser, Tampa Bay at Carolina over 36.5. I just think it will go over the total. Carolina plus versus Tampa Bay plus 9. I think that's a decent bet in a teaser, and I also think plus 3 just straight up is a good bet. All right, Jaguars and Broncos. This is not going to be as good of a game as everyone thinks it is going to be, in my opinion. Broncos have won the 4 out of the last 5 head-to-heads. The Jaguars did win in Denver, but that was in 2019, a long time ago. 6 years ago. I mean, it seems like forever ago. Jaguars are scoring 24.4 points away, and the Broncos are only allowing 18.6. Broncos are scoring 27 points at home, and then the Jaguars are allowing 25. So I don't even think this game is close. I think 24-17, somewhere around there, 27-20. I think Broncos easily cover the spread, so I'll lean towards the Broncos on the money line, Broncos on the spread, Broncos in a money line parlay potentially, and then the under 45.5 is where I'll lean. Although Jacksonville has been playing to the over in every game, and I think Denver's happy to go there. I just think Trevor Lawrence is going to not have success against this team. I don't know how else to say it. I just have this huge, overwhelming feeling that the Broncos are going to win this one. It's going to be by more than 3. So that is where I'm going with my money. All right, Atlanta at Arizona. The home teams have won the past 13 head-to-head games, which is crazy. They're playing in Arizona. They tend to play to higher totals, but that is not where I went with my leans. Falcons are scoring 20 points. Cardinals are allowing 29. Cardinals are scoring 21.6, and the Falcons are only allowing 22. So I like the Falcons to win this one. Both of these teams are eliminated from the playoffs already, so I don't really know what either one has to play for. Drake London should be back, though. Really, Jacoby Brissett and Kirk Cousins are the 2 players that have the most to play for, so the 2 quarterbacks. And so you might think that's going to be a shootout, but I think that just leads to interceptions, actually. So I lean towards the under 47.5, and for the super teaser, we'll do under 57.5. Pittsburgh at Detroit. I think the Steelers keep this one close. Steelers have won 4 out of the last 5 head-to-heads straight up. Most recent head-to-head was a tie. So they've either won or tied in 5 of the last 5 head-to-heads. So that's why I am putting my money on Pittsburgh +7, without a doubt. I think you could put them in a teaser as well, but I didn't do that. The Lions are scoring very well at home, 33.7, best in the NFL at home. And the Steelers are allowing 25.4 away. And then the Steelers are scoring 24 points, and the Lions are allowing 22. So I do think the Lions win this one. I just think the Steelers keep it within a touchdown. So I'll take the Lions money line, Steelers spread. I'm betting on the spread, and then over 51.5 will be a lean. And then for the super teaser, both teams to score 15 points. All right, Raiders at Houston. This is going to be miserable. 14.5 spread, which is a little crazy, but I think it's justified actually, and I'm going to lean towards Houston. So Raiders have won the past 2 head-to-heads going back to 2019, but Stroud, Will Anderson, and Stingley have not played in those games. So the Raiders are only scoring 10 points in away games, and now they're going up against the number 1 defense in the NFL at home. So Texans are scoring 26. Raiders are going to allow them to score as many as they want. So 27-10 is the score. And Houston money line, Houston minus 14.5, under 38.5. I don't see any reason why Houston wants to run up the score. And I just don't think the Raiders can score on this team hardly at all. I mean, 10 would be the most I see them getting. Maybe 13 if they kick 2 field goals. So super teaser wise, I'm going to go Houston minus 6.5. And then New England at Baltimore. I do like New England in this one, but Baltimore is going to be frisky because they still have a chance to win their division. And they're going to need this win if they're going to do that. So, but I just think the Patriots are playing better right now. But they're on the road. The Ravens have won 2 out of the last 3 head-to-heads, including the only game in Baltimore. The other 2 games were in Boston. Patriots are scoring 27 points and only allowing 19.7. Ravens are only scoring 21.6 at home, and allowing 25. So I think the Patriots can get it done. You know, I was on the Bills in the last one with the Bills and the Patriots, and that is what happened. And now I think that the Patriots are going to win this one. So scores 24-21. I think it'll be close. I think that the Patriots are soft against tight ends, which is what Lamar likes to throw to. And so I do think that they're both going to be able to score. So New England money line, New England +3, under 48.5, although I think it could easily go over. And then in the super teaser, both teams score 15. And then just straight up betting, I think +3 is a good bet for the Patriots, +9 in a teaser. The money line for the Patriots, I think, is decent. I don't think I ended up on any of those right now, but I may go in on them. All right, San Francisco and Indianapolis. The Colts have won the last 5 head-to-heads going back to 2005. So the 49ers have not beat the Colts since before 2005, which is a little bit crazy, but they don't play that often. This spread is 6.5. The 49ers are scoring 24.6, and the Colts are only allowing 17.2 at home. Colts are scoring 31.2 at home, and the 49ers are only allowing 20.9. So I think this game's a lot closer than people think it's going to be, kind of like the Seattle game with the Colts just barely was a lot closer than people thought it was going to be. So San Francisco money line, I will lean towards that, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts win outright. But I will take the Colts +6.5, and then the under 46.5. But I think it could go over. And then I will take under 55.5 in the super teaser, and I will take the Colts +6.5 outright, as a bet on the spread. All right, here's the super teaser. There's 16 legs. It pays +5,200. Obviously depending on the site that you're on. I made this on DraftKings. We've been missing our super teaser. Last week we missed 7 legs, but we usually miss 3 legs. So just choose, your favorite legs, put them together. Hopefully you win some money. And here are the bets. So I'm doing a money line parlay. It is not +144. Those are the wrong odds. I did not update this, but I'm going to take Philly at Washington, and then I'm going to take Denver at home versus Jacksonville. You could throw in the Bills. You could throw in the Texans if you want, just to have the juice be up a little bit more. Green Bay at Chicago over the total. I will take the Chargers to win outright on the money line. Giants +3, Giants on the money line against the Vikings. These are the 6-point teaser legs that I like. I'm not going to put all of these together in one teaser. These are just the legs that I like. So take what you like, leave what you don't. They're all underdogs except for one, which is the Texans -6.5 with the Raiders. Pittsburgh +7 on the spread with Detroit. And then I will take Indy +6.5. I found it at 6.5. It was at 6 earlier. I did find it at 6.5 at the 49ers. Well, they're at home against the 49ers. And then New England +3 on the spread, and then New England on the money line. So these money line plays, the plus money plays, are going to be a quarter unit. The spread plays are going to be, let's see, they're all going to be a quarter unit, except the Steelers will be a half unit, and the Green Bay total will be a half unit. So that's what I'm doing with my money right now. If you want to get in for a cash prize giveaway on this video, just let me know. You can either choose 2 of the regular line plays, like the totals or spreads, or you can choose the money line parlay. How about that? So Philly and Denver. So either Philly and Denver to win, or you can choose 2 of the totals and spreads. And let me know what you think in the comments. If you're correct, you'll be in for the cash prize giveaway. Make sure you're subscribed and, of course, like the video. Even if you don't want to get in for the cash prize giveaway, just leave a comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking. All right, thanks, guys.